Hey guys, this is Kelly Orocho with Century 21 Everest, your local real estate expert. So it's that time of month again to look at the Utah County housing market breakdown. So just a quick message right up front. Man, if you're a buyer or you're thinking about being a buyer or looking at maybe considering buying, or if the word even buyer pops into your head, this is a good time for you. And let's find out why. Okay. Move this guy out of the way. So this is my spreadsheet where I put all the data in from the UAR. So we'll go over most of this kind of stuff. There are a couple things that I want to point out here. Um, if we look at percent of change of new listings on the market, specifically May, we'll see a pretty good spike there, but we can see what percentage that spike actually is. So it's actually 31.1% spike. For June, not so much, just a 1.5% increase in the number of new listings that came on the market. But May, we saw a significant increase. Um, Also, we can see that for the number of homes that have gone under contract in June has dropped considerably by 26.4%. Um, this is significant over month. You know, last month was 976, this month 718. Um, Number of closed sales went down from last month by 7.2% as well. So that had a drop as well. The big thing on this sheet though that I want you to focus on is we're still for the median price. We're still at for the year. We're still at 7.7% increase. Okay, so we haven't really dropped significantly. Uh, as a matter of fact, just the last 2 months, so May and June, we've only seen a decrease in median sales price by less than 1% each month, right? If we look at comparatively from last year, so from June of last year to June of this year, we're still in the positive at 17.5%. Okay. Um, for this year, just the cash amount gain in your equity, according to the median price, we're still at $38,950. Okay. So making $38,950 in, 6 months, that's still nice. Okay. I don't care what investment you have right now. 17.5% gain over a year is pretty dang good, right? Look at your stock market, look at your crypto coin, cryptocurrency, look at any other investments you got. And if you got something that's better than 17.5% year over year for the last year, I'd like to see it because that's pretty good. All right, let's go to our UAR sheet. So this is the data sheet where I pull the information from. Pretty much the same kind of thing. Only thing I want to show on here is year over or year to date for us, for Utah County, we're still about 3.3% over asking price. Last year we were at 4.2%. In June, though, specifically looking at June of this year, we're at only about 1.4% over asking, whereas last year we were at 104.6% over asking, which means that we've seen about that's a difference of 3.1%. So we can definitely see that the homes are not in the month of June. We're not going for $100,000 over asking, right? That's not happening. Those days are gone, right? The other thing is the month supply. So last year we had 1.2 months supply. This year we have 2.3 months supply. Okay, so we almost doubled in inventory. Okay, this is a big plus for buyers. There's a lot more inventory on the market for you guys to choose from. There's more inventory. You don't have to bid crazy over amounts of money to get it. right? And days on market, so you don't have to do it in 2 hours. Get your offer accepted in 2 hours. You don't. You have some time. Okay. Okay. New listings. We can see what we just saw. So in May, we had that huge spike there compared to last year. That was a huge inventory increase for the month. You can see here back in June. Now we've kind of, because there was a huge spike last year, we've come back down into kind of where we were last year on the months on the new listings for the month. Median sales price, here's our flattening out, right? We can see that the prices have flattened out. Last year we had slight increase. This year we were flat. So that gap for the median sales price closed a little bit. It wasn't this huge 31% increase that we saw in the graph in the spreadsheet a minute ago, right? So we're about 17%. Okay. Days on market, you can see that from May to June, that we actually increased by 2 days. You can see last year we were actually on a downward trend for this. This year we're starting an upward trend, right? So this is significant because the trends are going in opposite directions. I suspect that next month we'll also see this increase, so the gap will become even larger there. Here's my multi-graph, which just shows new listings, under contracts, and closed sales. You can see exactly what we talked about. Excuse me, I need a drink of water. Those different items and how they're trending themselves throughout the year. Okay. All right. Let's talk briefly about what this means for you guys. If you're a buyer, if you're thinking about buying, if you've considered buying, if you didn't buy before because you thought it was crazy, if you think you couldn't afford it, if you think interest rates are too high, let's take a look at those. This is a good time for you. Okay, this is the best time for you to buy than even 2 years ago, right? It's been a huge seller's market, right, up until now. We're still in a seller's market. We're only at 2.3 months inventory, which less than 6 months is considered technically a seller's market. But I will tell you, things are going up, not because inventory, is above 6%, because it's not, but it's because I believe we hit that tipping point, we've hit that tipping point where the buyers, they got mad, they got pissed, they quit, they got out of the market, right? So right now, there's not as many buyers in the market. Inventory is going up because of it. Prices have leveled out because of it. So if you're a buyer, get in and take advantage right now, right? Get in and take advantage right now. Interest rates are higher than they were 2 years ago. There's no doubt about it. But they're still relatively low. My parents bought in the late 70s. They bought their house in the late 70s, and they were about 15%. 5 years ago, people were refinancing to get the interest rates we have now, right? Interest rates are higher than what they were 2 years ago, no doubt about it. But they're still not crazy, right? If you're making 17% a year on a home and you're spending 10% on interest rate to do it, you're still in the positive, right? And I'm not, and if you waited because you thought it was too crazy before, right, and you didn't want to get in on that craziness, and hypothetically, if you had, you'd still be in a great position, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But now is the time where the prices have steadied, interest rates decent, there's plenty of loan programs out there. Let's explore the numbers. Let's look at the possibilities, right? All you got to do is look, right? Don't rely on what you heard on Facebook. Don't rely on what you heard from your neighbor. Don't rely on what you thought or what you what was going on 3 months ago. This is not the same market. It's a transition market. We are transitioning, and this has great opportunities for buyers. So give me a call. We can look at it. We can explore it. We can get the actual numbers. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay? No harm, no foul, right? Doesn't cost you to look, doesn't cost you to explore, but at least you have the facts. If you're a seller, all that crazy equity that you've gained over the last two to 2.5, 3 years, still there. Hasn't gone anywhere. You're not gaining it like you were before, but what you've made already, still there, right? So if you were thinking a year ago, right? Well, I'm not going to sell. I want to sell. I want something bigger, right? I want to be able to have, a bigger kitchen. I want to be able to have a bigger dining room. I want to have a bigger living room. I want a theater in my basement, right? I want to have these bigger things, or I want to downsize, right? For whatever reason, you were thinking about making a move, but you didn't because the prices were like skyrocketing, and you didn't want to get in and make an offer on a house, and then a couple hours later get outbid, right? You didn't want to get into that craziness. You wanted to wait for that stuff to subside. Guess what? It subsided, right? So you still have the equity that you've gained the last few years in your house. You've still got that. It's like, it's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere. And now the prices have leveled, more inventory. Everything's for sellers that are wanting to buy, for sellers that are wanting to sell, and then buy something and upgrade or downgrade or whatever you want to do. This is perfect for you. This is your time, right? Let's talk about it. Let's look at the possibilities. Let's see what's available where you want to go. Let's see what your house will do. Okay? Let's look at that. I will tell you up front that craziness that was happening, even as far away, even as close as 3 months ago. That's not going to happen though. Your home's going to sit a little longer. You're going to have to price it right. You're going to have to do that in order to sell. You can't have those same expectations that people had 6 months ago. You're going to have different expectations. You're going to have to be more reasonable. If we overprice your house, you're going to have to do a price reduction, right? You may have to offer some concessions. Lots of options. But just let's talk about it. Let's see what those are. Let's see what we can do. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to end it right there. I don't want to go too far, but for me, just to end it all, bottom line, guys, you don't know what you don't know. So the key is, if you're thinking about doing something, if you want to do something with real estate, if you want to maybe thinking about using the equity to, start your investment portfolio, I can tell you from a personal note, I did that, right? This year, I've started that, and I have an investment property. It's been an adventure, I will tell you, right? But I did that, and I'm happy I did. So, guys, if you want to jump into that realm, if you're already in that realm and you want to expand, let's talk. If you want to sell, let's talk. If you want to buy, let's talk. Okay. Bottom line, let's talk. Okay. I love you guys, and I want you to be successful in whatever you do. And whatever you do, make sure it's the right thing for you. Okay.